Hey, this is Joe Blasco once again for MUA TV's For Your Information. This is our FYI show. And today's guest is Mr. David Zweber. Mr. Zweber is actually the enrollment director and the actual director of the Joe Blasco Makeup Artist Training Center in Hollywood, California. So, without any further ado, Mr. David Zweber. How are you, David?
Fine, thank you.
And welcome to Orlando.
Well, thank you.
You know, you don't get down here too often. It's really great to have you here. What do you think of Hollywood?
I love it.
And let's talk about you for a little while. All of you out there who are interested in going to the Joe Blasco Makeup Artist Training Center, this is the man that you're talking to on the telephone when you call our school. All right, here you are. I'm introducing you to the director of my school in Hollywood, California. All right, so now let's find out a little bit about David, right? Okay, so where are you from?
I was raised in a small town in Minnesota. Decided I did not want to see snow ever again, so I left and I moved to Phoenix. Left Phoenix for a promotion to Colorado.
Yes.
Actually, and spent 17 years working for a company called Avis Budget Group, or the Ascendant Corporation. And
Avis?
Yes.
You mean the cars?
Yes.
Avis cars? And what did you do there?
I was at the end of my career there. I was an airport manager for the Colorado Springs Airport.
Wow.
So
you were very heavy into management and administration work.
Yes.
Well, that explains why you're so great at what you are doing for me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I took care of all the hiring, the firing, HR, operation, day-to-day management, payroll. So
HR, human resources.
Yes.
And tell us about that. You do such a great job in every area of supervising and managing the Hollywood School, as well as the HR. To what extent is HR important in the running of the school?
It plays an extremely important role. It keeps fairness for employees. It keeps work issues, any potential work hazards. It keeps those at bay. We need to prevent those before they happen, before they become any larger issues. Anything from payroll to insurance to keeping up with labor laws, making sure proper payroll is done, overtime issues. Sometimes, fortunately not really here, but on occasion there are certain employee issues where you have to actually step in and mediate and let each person speak their side.
Right, exactly. So let's back up again. With Avis now, how long were you with Avis?
17 years.
17 years.
Yes.
And you decided to leave Avis.
I did.
And to come work for me.
I did.
And what actually made you make that decision? Because you have to understand out there, folks, this young man is the very close friend of another one of my employees. And I've known him now for approximately, 4 years at least. But he didn't, he didn't work for me. And so I recognized, his talent and his managerial abilities and his ability to interact beautifully with everybody that came, close to him. And so I kept trying to talk him into come work for me, but I never thought that I'd ever succeed in pulling him away from Avis. So what made you make up your mind to come to work for me?
Well, like you said,
we'd
known each other for quite a few years, and we'd been talking. You had asked in the past, and I decided, why not? I was ready for a change. I'm a huge fan of stability, security, and knowing a little bit about this company and doing work with you in this company as far as advertising, trade shows and such in the past gave me a certain level of comfort where I was wanting the challenge. I wasn't scared of it.
Yes. But you wanted something exciting.
I did.
You wanted an exciting job.
I did, and I didn't know it was going to be living in Hollywood, but it turns out that I love it a lot more than I thought I would.
Right. So. You love it. You really do have an affinity of interacting beautifully with the students and the teachers.
Well, thank you.
And it absolutely shows. The Hollywood School is, and both of the schools, all three of the schools, the New York School soon, are also under your direction as far as HR is concerned and overall management in that aspect. Amanda here in Orlando, Amanda Chamberlain is also an enrollment director, and she works very, very closely with you. And in many respects, she's more or less working East Coast, where you're working West Coast.
Correct.
And but you still are handling all of the HR for all of the schools, and I think that's important because it's equalizing, all of the, the most important aspects of having the school run smoothly. All of those factors are being very closely monitored by you, and that's great. And this isn't. We've had other people doing HR in the past, but honestly, no one as qualified as you. And you have a wonderful demeanor with people. And any of you who have been talking to David over the telephone, you prospective students, you parents of prospective students or grandmothers, whatnot, relatives who call in and inquiring about coming to the Joe Blasco Makeup Artist Training Center in Hollywood, I know will agree with me when I say that he's an extremely personable young man. He's very easy to work with. He really knows his stuff. There isn't a question that you can't ask him that he doesn't have an answer for. And if he doesn't have that answer, he's not ashamed to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to get back to you on that. I'll call Mr. Blasco, or I'll call Mr. Schatz, or I'll call Ms. Chamberlain. I'll get that answer for you, And I think that's why you are so successful there, and that's why the Hollywood School is doing so well. It's because we now finally, after years of searching for people to really manage the school and to turn it into what I wanted to be, the pure, and most highly organized institution for makeup artistry that exists. I finally have now, I believe, achieved that through you and your fine work.
Well,
so thank you. I want to thank you personally.
Well, thank you.
In front of the whole world and everyone. All right. So what's going on at the Hollywood School now?
Well, we are currently going through our final testing next week for our April semester. Mm-hmm. So these students will graduate from the professional course and go out into the world as makeup artists. Yeah. We're going to be sad to see them go, but we're very proud of them and the work they've done. Yes. I know that some of them are going to continue on to the advanced prosthetics course. Yes. We're getting ourselves ready for our July 19th Professional and Masters 1 course. Mm-hmm. So everybody who already has enrolled, we're contacting them, making sure their records are up to date, and we're still enrolling for those semesters. So the next couple of weeks, I have a lot of tours booked. We're ready to get those. I know I just checked my planner today, and I'm going to have a very busy week next week.
Yes, you are.
But that's great. That's great because it's a facility that I'm proud of, and the employees there, I'm proud to be a part of that team with them and make that place shine.
Yeah, it's immaculately clean. It's exactly the way I want it. When you walk into a makeup school, you should be able to eat off the floor. It should be a very a beautifully sterile, almost medicinal environment. With that is, if they're teaching and observing all of the proper rules of sanitation and sterilization. So I'm so pleased to have you on board with us. Now, who are the teachers out there now?
I have Mr. Travis Pates, and we're very lucky to have him teaching our beauty and professional course. Right. We have Mr. Rob Berman, who teaches our advanced prosthetics. Yes. And both of them have an incredible history and an incredible current working relationship in the industry. Yes.
So you have Fred Blau also, I understand, comes in for beard work, for hair work.
And Fred Blau, whom I understand you've known for many years.
Many years. Yeah.
And Orlando School was lucky enough to have him last semester, and I made a phone call to him and talked to him at AMETS to make sure that I can have him for next semester.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, we look forward to seeing Fred Blau's talent in the school.
You should have Gil Moscow come in while he's still here, because I understand he's building a beautiful home in Denver or in Colorado somewhere, and he'll be moving there. I don't know how available he'll be at that point.
Right.
And after that, so you should bring him in occasionally. But one wonderful thing that I'm, happy to be able to do, and that is just to be able to fly the makeup artists from Hollywood also to Orlando, and vice versa. And we have Ronnie Spector also, that is going to be another one of our instructors. A wonderful, wonderful makeup artist. Valerie O'Reilly, who just did the makeup for Alice in Wonderland, is another one of our people. As a matter of fact, you're going to be seeing her and Ronnie Spector giving a tour of this year's IMATs at Pasadena, right here on this episode. It's going to be coming up. Keep in mind now, that we continuously add more and more programming to this episode as it goes on for about a month and a half or so before we change it. When I say episode, I mean installment, before we change to the very next installment. I think this is installment 22. Is it installment 22, Doug? Is that where we are?
Yes.
Yes. Ah, the voice of God. our technical director, Doug Schatz. So we're in 22, and so it's just a great team of people. We've got so many people coming and going, and the thing is that I'm very much about having as many different teachers as possible teaching, because in that respect it's like an apprenticeship program, so that you're not just learning from one person constantly, but you have guests coming in, like in Florida. In Florida we have an anchor. We have Bill McCoy, who does all of our prosthetics, and he comes in and he does various other aspects as a guest, and beard work and bald cap and injuries and a death simulation and blood and gore. We have Connor McCullough, who is a genius as well as Bill, and he comes in and he does our more advanced, very, very high level prosthetics instruction. And these are going to be the same people that are going to also be available to us in Hollywood as well, and that will be working the trade shows in the upcoming years. So you'll be able to meet all of these people, and when you enroll, they'll be your teachers. So and Kelsey Fry also is another fine instructor that we have in Hollywood that is just top of the line, and there are just so many of them. I called and. I spoke to Kelsey last night, and she was watching a movie. I'm not sure what she was doing, but she had another one of my grads, Robert Rapport, who does the makeup for, what is the show he's doing? It skips my mind right now. It's a very popular show, but anyway, he's become so successful, and he was there having dinner with her. But I would like him to come over to the school, and I've yet to speak to him at length about coming by the school and perhaps doing a career day. And
excellent.
And Entourage. That's the name of this. My head kept going and going and going until it came in. So it's Entourage. A fabulous show, and he's actually up for, I think he's up for a makeup nomination, or a possible makeup nomination this year. And for last year's shows. Very proud of him. He's really a terrific young man. And he came out of the Hollywood school.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. So you are in charge of a fabulous facility, and obviously the pride exudes from you, and your willingness and your desire to really do a great job there absolutely shows in every day in the work that you do.
Well, thank you.
And so what do you have planned for the school? Are there changes there?
Yes, in January 31st, 2011, we're going to begin our Masters 2 program, which is a program, a 32-week, very enhanced and detailed program that is many steps further than the Masters 1. This program was piloted in Orlando, and it's currently going on in Orlando, and I believe it's very successful.
Yes, it is.
So we're excited to start that. We do have, an advanced Bizarre Beauty course starting at the end of July. That's going to be a 4-week course. It will include many different types of beauty, and it's hosted by
Now let me
Travis.
guess. Travis Pace.
Avant-garde.
Travis Pace is going to be teaching this. Who else?
Nothing, certainly not a pun against Travis, but
No,
that's
I mean,
why
it's
we
the
put
best
the word
that-
bizarre in the title.
Yeah.
Because
Well, the
Travis
bizarre
is-
isn't referring to Travis. The bizarre is referring to
Yes.
is referring to the makeups
Yes,
that he will be doing.
I have done many trade shows with Travis. I have been made up by Travis in the past, and
Yeah.
Travis is very famous for the contrast between beauty and gore all
Right,
in one
right,
face, of
right.
bloody fairies, and
Right.
so
Right.
it's a very exciting course. It's going to be an evening course.
Right.
We've had quite a few requests for evening beauty, and we at first we're going to just have former students and current makeup artists, or
Yes.
current students, but we have such a demand for night classes that I think the opportunity will be there if Mr. Pates just changes the course, that we can take people in off the street that are interested in evening courses.
Yes, yes.
And that will include some airbrushing. So if you are interested, please call me at the Hollywood School. We have plenty of time to enroll before the July 28th start date.
Right. Well, that airbrush course is going to be quite extensive.
Yes.
And I mean, it's everything from, how to work with the airbrush, obviously, but how to choose the correct airbrush, how to dismantle it, put it back together again, clean it and whatnot, sanitize and sterilize it, and how to work with all the various pigments and whatnot. But freehand as well as with templates. So it's a great course. We've already started that down here in our Masters 2 program, and we had part of the beginning of our beauty course in Orlando. And now with the course that Connor McCullough is going to be teaching in the very extreme advanced prosthetics, that course is also going to have a lot of airbrush work in it too, and properly executed. When you're watching the footage of the IMATs, you're going to see the competition, and you're going to see people using an airbrush, and I want you to take note of how much overspray there is, and how this overspray is encapsulating the people that they're working on. And in all honesty, that is not the correct way to use an airbrush. I mean, that's the way everybody's doing it.
Right.
But if you're going to really protect yourself as a professional from any form of liability, there are precautions that must be taken so that you as an artist and your model are not inhaling the particles that are being sprayed from the airbrush. Oh yes, I know. They're saying, oh, there's no problem, there's no problem, there's no problem. But they said that with a lot of things. And then later down the line, these attorneys, they grab onto it, and it's mesothelioma and all of this and all of that, and class action lawsuits against the airbrush companies that are making them because people have been inhaling, the pigments that permeate the air and that have titanium dioxide pigment in them, and talc pigment, and various and sundry other items that do not dissolve in the lungs, and obviously you should not be inhaling. But that lesson, I think, still has yet to be learned, and I really don't think that most of the schools are really teaching the proper techniques of how to work with the airbrush safely. Safely. All right, and that's not just my opinion, but that's the opinion of several other artists like Dick Smith. Dick Smith has been an advocate for the safe usage of airbrush for a long time, and has been really arguing this, this point to, unfortunately, deaf ears, because people just aren't listening. And when you see these people spraying their airbrush and sitting there and just breathing all this in, and you wonder, what's happening in between these two ears that permits them to think that they can actually breathe this in, and it really isn't going to harm them. So anyway, so be cautious with all that sort of thing. End of story. We we're embarking in so many things here at MUA TV. We've got a new program that we're putting together, which is really going to be utilized for our Masters 3 program, which is a program where the prerequisites are Masters 2 and Masters 1. You cannot get into the Masters 3 program unless you've been through Masters 1 and Masters 2. What is Masters 3? Masters 3 is a program where the students themselves will be working on shows, dramatic shows that are going to be shot here at the MUA TV studio in Orlando, as well as at the MUA TV studio in Hollywood. And each installment will feature a 1/2 hour to a 1 hour show that is produced by MUA TV and using students exclusively from the Joe Blasco Makeup Artist Training Centers in Orlando and in Hollywood. And then we have another show coming up that Kelsey Fry is going to be working with Robert Rapport in being the segment producer, and it's going to be a competition show, but I cannot give you any more information. But it's not going to be one of these light and airy and really truly superficial shows like you've seen, like Blush and these other embarrassing shows where they say that, you know, these are America's greatest makeup artists. No.
Right.
These are really going to be truly talented makeup artists that are going to be entering into these competitions. That are, it's just more than, it's not just beauty makeup, it's more than just beauty makeup. It's going to be, you know, bald caps, beard work, injury simulation, death simulation, prosthetic application, you know, all sorts of various and sundry types of special makeup effects as well. And so that's going to prove to be quite an interesting show, and we're going to be producing that, as I said, here in Orlando at this studio, as well as in Los Angeles. And Kelsey Fry is the segment producer for that show. I can't wait to get started with that. So we've got a lot of wonderful things in store, and so, but I want you to know this because you didn't even know anything about that yet.
No, but I'm very excited for it.
Right, and those the segments will be shot right upstairs in Hollywood. The MUA TV studio is on the second floor of my building in Los Feliz, where the school is. And so the students there can actually just go straight upstairs, right into the TV studio and work. Here, the MUA TV studios is about 2 miles away, 3 miles away from the actual school. So they have to be bussed over or they drive over to participate in their instruction here at this studio. So tell us what happens at the Hollywood school. We said we have prospective students out there, or parents, prospective students, and they want to know what the process is to become a student at our school. Would you run through it?
Well, definitely. When you first call or send an initial email showing interest, I would like to speak to you to find out, first off, are you local? If you're anywhere in California or in Los Angeles, you're going to be in the LA area, we'd love you to come in for a tour and take you physically through the building and sit down afterwards, discuss all of the courses that we have to offer, find out where it is that you or your child wants to go in the industry, what they want to learn, and find a course that we have that's going to best fit them. If you are international, we have many international students, or you just cannot make it across the country, but you have taken our tour on MUA TV of the Hollywood School, and you're certain that's where you want to go, I will work with you via email, regular mail, FedEx if need be, sending the proper necessary paperwork back and forth, and helping you get to Los Angeles for your start date.
Tell me about student loans, because we always get calls.
Sallie Mae has an incredibly easy process for applying for a student loan. There's no paperwork involved. You go right online to salliemae.com. Halfway down the page in the middle, you apply for the Student Smart Loan. Our list of their list of schools in the drop-down menu, we are in there, Joe Blasco Hollywood and Joe Blasco Orlando. If by
What are the
chance-
qualifications to get approved by Sallie Mae? What do the students need to be certain that they have in order to know for certain that they're going to get the loan?
Well, they do a credit check, and that's something we don't really know the exact particulars for. Your household income is looked at, your credit score is looked at, your FICO score, and you know, if you have a current income yourself, I can tell you what I have seen is that every acceptance from Sallie Mae has had a cosigner. So it really helps to have a cosigner, whether it's your parents or a close relative that has a good credit score that can help out for that.
Okay, so in other words, someone who is a prospective student, someone who is intending to get a student loan through Sallie Mae, they can actually go online, they can look up Joe Blasco, Orlando, or Hollywood, they click on that, they fill out the paperwork, they are then much more able to acquire the student loan if they have a cosigner. So I would think that the first order of the day would be, if you're really serious about attending the school, is to find your cosigner first, and then take care of all of the paperwork.
Yes. If by chance, and it does happen, that you are declined by Sally Mae, we have a second company that we work with. The guidelines are a little different. You are only able to finance your tuition. It is a paper application that I will email to you, and I do complete the bottom part after you've completed. And they also get you an answer within 24 to 48
That's very
hours.
good. That's very good.
And we're able to set up a payment plan while you're in school where we can break your payments into thirds. That eases the burden of some students that are maybe cashing in a bond to fund their tuition.
Yes.
Where you would pay 1/3 on your first day,
Right.
and then 1 month later you could pay 1/3,
Right.
and 1 month later. That's only available in our professional and our master's courses. So,
Not in the beauty course.
no, that if you are in the beauty course, which does fill up very fast, if you are in that course, payment is due on the first day.
I see. Very interesting. You really love it, don't you?
I do.
You've got it down.
I do. I was nervous when I started. How am I going to learn this? I have done one thing for 17 years. How am I going to do this? But with the help of you, and thank God you're just a phone call away.
And Doug
Mr. Schatz and Amanda Chamberlain.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, Amanda Chamberlain and I have a morning phone call. Still, we're just in the habit of doing it.
Right.
Less and less questions now,
Right.
more just sharing experiences
Right.
throughout the day.
Right.
But I wondered how I was going to learn this, and that and moving to California at the same time.
Yes.
But it turns out I've taken control of it, and I love it.
Right. So you love being part of this carnival world. Huh?
It has its ups and downs, it does, but it's a lot more laid-back atmosphere
Right.
than I'm used to working in. And I like that, and I'm learning to work in that, and I'm really appreciating it.
Yeah, a very creative environment.
Yes.
One thing in Hollywood, as well as here, is that, as I said, we're wanting to bring many instructors in to teach the class, so that they have a very, very diversified education. And then they can put all of this education together, everything that they're learning from all of these different teachers, into one beautiful, understanding of the art of makeup.
And that's a great idea.
Yeah,
You're taking the best of each person's talents and bringing that into the classroom.
Right. Now, you went to IMATS, right? The International Makeup Artists Trade Show in Pasadena. And I understand that there were hundreds of thousands of people there. Well, we found out why. And obviously, there's a lot of people there all the time because it's a very popular show and it's a wonderful show and people love it. But this year, from what my sources tell me, that MAC and Makeup Forever sent out like millions of email blasts to everyone and to advertised to within the nth degree of the fact that they were giving out 40% discounts or some kind of discount to anyone, not just being professional, right, to anyone, which kind of like, I don't know, it might have ticked off a lot of the professionals, and as a matter of fact, I know it did. But so that means that you could have been, a lay person, know nothing about makeup, not care a thing about makeup, but you just want to get some makeup cheap. And so you went to the IMATS show and you stood in line with about 100 or 5 or 6 or 7, 800,000, 2,000 people, and you will see the line. We're going to show you the line.
An hour.
And it was Makeup Forever, and that is a Sephora company. Sephora, I don't know if many people know that. Sephora owns Makeup Forever. And I believe Michael Davalos now, who used to be with the makeup group, is now one of the vice presidents there. Wonderful guy, and I'm sure they'll do very, very well. Much better, with him directing the functions of the company. And then obviously MAC is owned by Estee Lauder, and so they have the finances available to spend millions and millions of dollars to advertise, and then obviously to pull people into the show, and what great luck for Michael Key, hey? What do you say? I saw pictures of Michael Key walking around with a big smile on his face. I can see why. I think this was the most attended of all makeup artist trade shows in its history, and that's good, because now there are a lot more people that are aware of the show, aware of the uniqueness of what Michael Key has put together, and we'll come back again next year. All right.
Well,
So-
it was a great opportunity.
Yeah, and so what did you think of the show?
Loved it. I've done several IMAT shows with the school, and this is by far the largest one I've ever seen. Out of
Well, now you know why.
yeah, exactly. But
As far as volume of people is concerned.
what a great opportunity to get our name out there, our schools out
Right.
there, our products out there.
Right.
I certainly very rarely have a shortage of words.
Right.
And I lost my voice for about an hour the first day.
You did?
Yes, and most people I think would be relieved. I was upset
Right.
because I was wondering how many people had gone by that I wasn't going to be able to talk to.
Right.
But we handed out over 7 cases of catalogs. I booked tours for people that are in the LA area.
Yes.
I also booked tours for people that were in town just for IMATs
Yes.
and ended up coming to our school that
Yes.
Monday to see the
Yes.
school and sign up.
Yes, yes.
So that was a great thing.
Yeah, now all of you out there that were part of the IMAT show, you check out the footage that we're going to be showing later in this installment, because you may see yourself on our show. Because Doug took the camera and the Steadicam and actually went all the way down this incredible line of people that were standing in line to get in.
With Ronnie Spector and
Yeah, with
Valley
Ronnie
O'Reilly.
Spector, Valley O'Reilly, and they interviewed, so many wonderful people at the show, and it was quite a show. It was probably the best show they've ever done.
It was.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm glad that we were there. Absolutely. And so this next year, what do you see in store for the Hollywood Makeup School? What are you planning on doing at the Hollywood Makeup School to make it even better?
We do want to run more evening classes. We're noticing a high demand for any type of evening class. So along with the Masters 2, in between now and the time the Masters 2 starts, the
Right.
more evening classes we can do
Right.
to accommodate these people
Right.
that want to come, they want to learn makeup.
Right.
Their only, how would I say, their only barrier is the fact that they have a job that they cannot leave in order to come to school.
Right.
And that job happens to be during the daytime. So if we can somehow create several night courses after our Bazaar Beauty just to accommodate them,
Yes.
so that they're not left out of the
Yes.
loop. We, after the cosmetics laboratory on the second floor, moved to Orlando, which is great. Orlando has the space. Orlando has a wonderful facility. So Danny came out here and he just does a great job. I talked to him today. He's just
Yeah.
so happy
Yeah.
pouring makeup.
Isn't it amazing?
It is amazing.
We have our short batch lab, our small batch lab, and we have a huge lab in Pennsylvania that manufactures products for us when we need orders of like 20,000 units of any one of these colors or more. But for short batches, for production companies and whatnot, individual artists, we have a lab here in Orlando now that used to be in Hollywood. And one of my apprentices, Danny Salaya, he is Salaya, Daniel P. Salaya. He is now running that lab. And we've had a lot of people working that lab in the past. I have never seen anyone work as quickly and as efficiently as this young man.
Oh, yes.
I mean, he's pouring like 3,000, 5,000 units a day by hand, pour, and without a machine. So that's pretty impressive.
He is a machine.
Yeah, he is a machine. He's the machine. He's remarkable. And he's also a good makeup artist, and he comes in and subs as a teacher on occasion, especially for when we're teaching cosmetics, chemistry, and things of that nature, which we will be doing, finishing up with for the Masters 2 program, which I'm pleased to announce.
And now that cosmetics laboratory has freed up so much space in Los Angeles, you had an excellent idea of taking that and turning it into a movie theater.
Yeah, we're going to make that into a
So
movie
that's an
theater.
end of summer project to
Right.
tear down some walls.
Yeah, we'll be able to fit about 50 to 60 people into that, maybe more, maybe 75 people into that room,
Right.
with a huge screen. Here in Orlando, we have a section of our lecture hall that is also a movie theater, where we have a screen. It's about 12 feet wide and about 6 feet tall. Then I also have a 16-foot wide screen and an 8 feet tall screen at my home, where I have a real movie theater in my home, where I invite my students there to watch all the classic films and whatnot. And but we didn't have a theater in the Hollywood School. Well, now we will.
We will.
Perfect.
And one more thing that's very exciting for the Hollywood School is we are in the final stages of the accreditation process.
Yes,
Where
yes.
we will be accredited by NACAS.
Yes.
Very exciting
Yes.
for two reasons. NACAS will come in and bring the school. We were pretty much there, but this assures that we stay on one standardized operating procedure.
Now, this is not the other accrediting agencies.
No.
This is the big daddy.
This is NACAS.
This is NACAS.
Yes.
This is the one that deals exclusively with beauty and cosmetology, and is quite a feather in our cap once it's done.
It is.
And they are very, very demanding, and I am glad for that. You know, it's not an easy accrediting agency to get into. They are on us, and being certain that everything is absolutely perfect, that all of our files are just a certain way, and that everything is just so. We actually even had to change the name of the school.
We did. We went from
Yeah.
Joe Blasco Makeup Training Center to Makeup Artists.
That's right. Well, it said Joe Blasco Makeup Center, you see. And the argument was, and I do agree with them, is that Joe Blasco Makeup Center could be a store. Even though we have been known as Joe Blasco Makeup Center for
Certainly.
32 or 35 years, in order to satisfy this accrediting agency, we had to change the name. So it's now Joe Blasco Makeup Artist Training Center. So, and that tells you it is a school and not a makeup store. So little things like that, you know, and it's great to have that in the works. And we've really been in the works now for 2 years in pulling that all together. And it's going to open up an entirely new world of opportunity for our students, because the instruction and everything that's involved in putting together the program for them is going to be so much more efficient and fine-tuned.
It is.
Yeah.
NACAS ensures that they bring you to a high standard and that you maintain it.
Right.
And it's going to be it's going to open up so many doors for students that want to come and cannot afford it.
Right.
They'll be eligible for different types of federal funding. And that's one thing Amanda Chamberlain and I are working on now is just internet research with things as far as FAFSA. How do you do that? We are going to need to know that soon so that we can help these students enroll.
And we're actually in a very, very fortunate position, and that is that we're not just a makeup school. We now have MUA TV and the income that MUA TV produces through its advertisers. And we also have the cosmetics division, which obviously is a multi-million-dollar situation. And that money helps to fund and to float the makeup schools, especially in today's economy where people have been suffering greatly, and you know, people have been losing their jobs, losing their homes, and it's been a bit of a struggle for many people. So we are able to continue and with great vigor because we have so many other companies, and it's not just one company, it's not just a school. We have a conglomerate here, an enterprise of several companies that pulled together, you know, to keep us moving in light of the economy, and also with that kind of funding, we're able to get top-notch instructors, you know, that are willing to really come and work for us. And like for instance, I've been speaking with Greg Canham, and Greg is wanting to come and teach for us, and there's just so many really wonderful people that we're able to bring into the school. Anyway, I got to tell you something. You are terrific. You're doing a wonderful job. I'm very, very happy to have you as the enrollment director and the director. You are not just enrollment, you are the director of the Joe Blasco Makeup Artist Training Center in Hollywood. Unfortunately, you can't put a makeup artist in a position that should be occupied by an administrator. You need an administrator. And now we do have, through you, an administrator in that position.
People do ask me all the time, are you a makeup artist? And my famous line is, you don't want me getting near your eyes with sticks and chemicals. It's probably not a good idea, but I'll do everything I can to enroll you in the school.
That's great.
And make sure you have a great education from our teachers.
Right, excellent. So, David, thank you so much for being my guest and for coming down here and sharing this moment with me and with our many viewers right here on MUA TV worldwide. And so, remember, this is the man you're going to be meeting whenever you go to the Joe Blasco Makeup Artist Training Center in Hollywood, California. Give him a call. His name is David Zweber, and that's 323-467-4949. And or at the bottom of the screen here, you'll see that. And also the web address is Joe Blasco at Hollywood, right?
It's Hollywood at
Oh,
joeblasco.com.
Hollywood, it's right here. Hollywood at joeblasco.com. All right, so either give us a call or find us online, and you can also go to just joeblasco.com, www.joeblasco.com, and you'll get information there on the schools, the cosmetics company, the book, and MUA TV, and the makeupspace.com. It's all right there in that one spot, joeblasco.com. And so this is Joe Blasco, signing off for MUA TV's For Your Information. Don't go away, you stay right there. We've got a lot more makeup and hair programming in store for you. See you soon.